Welcome to Football Roundup with your host, Randy Silver, where we dive into the biggest sports stories from our global game daily, weekly. We're going over the weekend, August 20th for you. We're going to break down all the biggest games, the World Cup for women, the Leagues Cup for the men in America, each domestic country, and so much more. Please be sure to subscribe to this so you get updated when we drop new videos and new updates daily. Let's dive into it for you. The countries we're going to focus on today, as we always do, the big five countries in Europe: England, Spain, Germany, France, Italy. North America, MLS is back. We have Leagues Cup. Saudi Arabia, with the investment that they have, big players out there, we got to keep up. UEFA, so any big things that happen in Europe and anything else that may happen. And we're going to give you all the big storylines. You have to start with the pinnacle of it all, Women's World Cup, going for gold. Spain beat England 1-0 to take home their first ever Women's World Cup. The men have a World Cup, of course. The most recent one was 2002, when it was the early days of Busquets, early days back then with PK. Now South Africa. Spain get theirs in Anzian between New Zealand and Australia. One sad thing to come out was the player of the tournament, the woman who scored the game-winning goal in the semifinals, the woman who scored the game-winning goal in the finals, Olga Carmona. Her father passed away right during the game or right after, so she learned of the news at the end of the World Cup. What a bittersweet moment. Such a high, winning the pinnacle of your sport, World Cup, player of the game, player of the World Cup, and then you find out that your father passed away. Really tough. So we wish her condolences, everyone around her. But Spain got the W. We got to focus on that. This is their first ever Women's World Cup win. UEFA now has 4 total World Cup winners. Norway, Germany, and Spain. Germany won twice. CONCACAF has 1 World Cup winner. That's won 4 times, the USA. If they would have won this tournament, they would have got a three-peat. Unfortunately, they did not. And then, I say unfortunately because I'm American. And then Japan has won 1 time. So, great to see. A new winner came in. USA lost in the round of 16. This shows that, hey, the women's game is growing. The women's game has more investment coming in. We saw England, if they would have won, first-time winners here. So, it's great to see the games coming. They're catching up to the U.S., and U.S. has got to stay up to date. Spain is your World Cup champions, and you know in Spain they're going to be partying hard to celebrate. This should have not been something you This should have been this should have been something we've seen coming. They won the 2022 U17 FIFA Women's World Cup. They won the 2022 U20 FIFA Women's World Cup, and now they just won the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. So they've been building up to this moment with this core group of players. If you're a betting person, this would have been a good bet to take. Congrats to the Spain women. U.S., Canada, Mexico. What happened here? The GOAT arrived. The GOAT delivered. Script written. Messi's mania magic ending. We have a full recap. It's in the link of this video. And, of course, it may be popping up right now. Go take a look at it. We go over the whole highlights. We give the PKs. The goals. Messi leads into Miami to win over Nashville SC. They win the Leagues Cup. First Leagues Cup ever. And first time Miami, in their 6-7 year history, has won a trophy. This game was great. It was up and down. Nashville started really hot. Messi got the first goal. It was a golazo. You have to go watch it. It was unbelievable. Top left cheddar. He was able to juke 4 defenders, get the shot off, outside, inside bend, goal. Nashville scored early in the second half to make it 1-1. That's how the game ended. Miami almost won the game at the death in the final play in the 94th minute. Unbelievable run down the field. The Miami player chipped the goalie. The ball was chipped a little too hard, and he had to try to dive to put in the goal. It missed, hit the post, and went out. Game went straight to PKs. It went to the 11th PK. So all the field players did it. Then the goalie went. Miami's goalie made it. Nashville's goalie missed. Miami wins. And that's how Miami becomes League Cup champions. Messi now has played in 48 finals in his career, 35 goals, 15 assists, GOAT status. He is him. He's come over. He's delivered. He's played in 7 games. They have 7 wins. He has 10 goals in those games. He looks happy. He looks enthralled. He's playing well with his teammates. So it's just absolutely impressive to see. And we'll see if he can do it now in MLS. They also have the U.S. Open Cup semifinals coming up against FC Cincinnati. So he could help Miami win 2 trophies in the matter of a month or 2. England. Not the women, unfortunately, lost in the World Cup. We're talking about the men's domestic. Here is your table, so you can take a look at it. Brighton is in first with 6 points based off a goal differential. Second is City. Third is Brentford. Fourth is Liverpool. Fifth is Tottenham. Your bottom 3 are Burnley, Wolverhampton, and Everton. Luton Town did not play. Their game has been postponed with Burnley. Also today playing is Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. This is being filmed Monday morning. The game has not happened yet, which is why you see they only have 1 game each. Here are the scores from the weekend. On Friday, Nottingham Forest beat Sheffield United 2-1 in a very thrilling game. On Saturday, you can see the scores here. Some games to call out. You got Liverpool beating Bournemouth 3-1. You have Wolverhampton losing to Brighton 1-4 after Wolverhampton almost beat Man U, or tied Man U. Not play their best game here. Tottenham beat Man U 2-0 in Tottenham Spurs Stadium in London. This was a beatdown in the second half, and we'll dive into this a little bit deeper. In a big clash of potential title contenders, City beat Newcastle United 1-0. This game was very closely contested, kind of boring first half, stalemate tactics. Second half opened up. Man City come away with the win. Today, Sunday, Villa crush Everton 4-0. Everton is off to a bad start. Last year they were in relegation battle. 2 years ago in relegation battle. It's not looking good to start. And West Ham in the Sunday matinee game beat Chelsea 3-1. West Ham went down to one player. West Ham went down a player, and we'll talk about this in a second in this game and dive into it. So here we go. West Ham, Chelsea. You can see here the players who played, their match ratings. West Ham started scoring in the 7th minute, while Chelsea got back on the board in the 28th minute and made it 1-1. In the second half, Antonio got the goal to make it 2-1, and then with a penalty in the final dying embers of the game, West Ham scored to make it 3-1, put it away. Moises Caicedo, the new big money transfer, biggest signing ever in English history, gave up the penalty in the 96th minute. Game was basically over at that point. However, not something you want to do on your Chelsea debut. West Ham, even though they went down a player, they got a red card in like the 70-ish minute. They were able to hold, withstand, play solid defense, and then make that game 3-1. So Chelsea, not the way they wanted to play their first game at home under Mauricio Pochettino, the new head coach. Still trying to find themselves as a team. Great team win for West Ham. Another great team win was Tottenham winning 2-0 over Manchester United. Big win for Tottenham. This was their first game at home with their new head coach and Pochettino against Erik ten Hag in his second season with Man U. Extremely impressive win for Tottenham. They got their goals from a cornucopia of their team. One was from Son, and then one was from Martinez, which was an own goal. It was kind of going on goal, but Martinez put it in. Tottenham looked faster, more athletic. They looked like the will was there. Man U looked lethargic. They were out of the game in the second half. Need to go back to the drawing board. Need to have a good week of preparation to be able to come back from this game. If you want to look at who your top scorers are and your league stats for the EPL, you got Solly Mark with 3 goals, Brian Mabumo with 3 goals for Brentford, and then Alexander Isak and other people got 2 goals. Your assist is Karu Mitoma for 2. A couple other people have 2 as well, Madison and Espelon. You have to go back and watch Mitoma's goal over the weekend. It was extremely impressive. Ran from basically the midfield, juked out a couple people, got by the defenders, and slid it below the goalie very nicely. Any big transfer news for you to be aware of? A couple of ones. If you're an American fan, Tyler Adams is officially leaving Leeds to go to Bournemouth. He's still out with his hamstring injury. He should be coming back in the next couple weeks. However, this is big. Leeds got relegated down to the championship. He should be playing the EPL. He proved last year he's at that quality of a player. So good for him to play Bournemouth. He'll play every game there in their midfield and help. Hakim Ziyech is moving from Chelsea to Galatasaray. This is official. Obviously, Chelsea's been buying a bunch of players, and then they get rid of people, help with the financial fair play. He wanted to go. Go look up his opening in Turkey. They gave him a rousing ovation. The other big one would be Alexander Mitrovic is officially moving from Fulham to Al Hilal, go play in Saudi Arabia with Neymar and those people on Al Hilal's team. And just a couple other ones that happened since we last spoke. Tom Davies played a lot at Everton when he first came up, moving to Sheffield United, so staying in the EPL. Tim Krul, pretty solid goalkeeper, moving to Luton. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets the starting nod there. And one big news as well that's out there in the media is Mason Mount. He had a whole scandal. He had the whole issues with domestic abuse, domestic violence. He got cleared on the courts. He's been training a little bit on the Manchester United training grounds. They're deciding if they bring him back or not. There's a lot of pushback from the fans who don't want him to come, kind of, tarnished. Hey, we don't need that drama around our team. So they want to push him out. They want him to go somewhere else. He's been in the news a lot lately. If that's why you heard the name Mason Greenwald, they're still deciding what they're going to do with it. Germany's first official match day was this weekend. Here are your standings. Obviously, one standings in, nothing crazy to note, and nothing that would be significant to see. However, you could see here that sometime Werder Bremen, top of the table, they lost by 4. That's why they're 0-4 here. They lost to Munich 4-0. Munich's at top right there. Here are your scores. One big loss here to be noteworthy. Leverkusen beat RB Leipzig 3-2. Leipzig beat Bayern Munich in basically their Community Shield for Germany and the Super Cup 3-0, and this was Harry Kane's first game. So for them to come out and lose their first real game of the season match day is shocking a bit. Leverkusen always is, Champions League type of spot, but not something you would expect. Another big team in Germany, Dortmund, won their first game 1-0. Here are your stats after match day 1. Bruns got a hat-trick in his first game of the season, first match of the season. Impressive, great to see. And then Furch got 2 assists. A couple of people got 2 assists as well. The Munich game, what was noteworthy, this was Kane's first official match day with Germany, with Bayern Munich. And he got his goal. He had the assist on Sané's first goal. He did very well linking up players, coming back, dropping, leading passes off. Last year, Munich had a problem putting games away. Kane got his goal when it was 1-0, kind of against the run of play, got a counterattack, was able to slice the ball in, put it away very nicely, basically ended the game, and Munich closed it out after that. That is what Munich was missing last year without Louis the past couple years, so it's good to see the effect of Kane coming in and getting that goal. And then Sané played a very good game coming off the side, same as Coman. With Kane being able to drop back, they can run forward and make really good passes, be able to get behind the defenders, and Kane will find them, or the midfield will find them because they're worried about Kane in the middle. So it was a good team win after the Community Shield loss, or the Super Cup lost. We talked about Dortmund with the 1-0 win, came in the 88th minute. Unfortunately, they could not get that goal they needed last season to win the Bundesliga, but they got a late goal here. So good for Dortmund to bounce back after such a tough defeat in the last game of the season to then be able to get the win to start this new season and turn the page. As we talked about, Leverkusen beat Leipzig 3-2. This was pretty impressive, probably the biggest win of the weekend in Bundesliga, especially after Leipzig beat Munich in the Super Cup. They went up 1-0, then became 1-1, then it became 2-1, 2-2, and 3-1, and then Leipzig got a goal to make it 3-2, but they could not come back. Here are your big transfers. Nothing crazy here jumps off to me. A lot of these people are a bit younger. Again, the big transfer that's happened for Germany was Harry Kane moving through. Spain. Not about the women, but again, congrats to the Spanish women. We're talking about La Liga. Real Madrid's at the top of the table after 2 games. Valencia, Girona, Atletico Madrid, Barca, and Real Betis. At the bottom of the table, you got Alvarez, Granada, and Almeria. Here were your scores from the weekend. Of course, the big names you want to see is Real Betis tied Atletico Madrid 0-0. Barca won 2-0 against Ciudad. And then Real Madrid won 3-1 against Almeria. Tomorrow would be Monday. Again, we're filming Monday morning. You got 2 games that still come up. Top scorer. Is this a surprise? Big money man, biggest spender for Real Madrid this summer. Big person coming in, all the news. Jude Bellingham, 3 goals, 1 in his first game, 2 in the second game. Coming in hot, proving his worth already, doing a great job. Nico Williams leading the league in assists with 2. But Bellingham also has an assist, so he's leading overall goals and assists with 4. Looking at the games, Barca won 2-0. First goal in the 82nd minute, and then finished the game off in the 94th minute. So pretty close game throughout. Barca had, again, some decent summer changes. They lost Dembele, still trying to find their footing. Some younger players. After the tie in the first game, good for them to be able to come back and get the win for Barca fans. You can see here that they use basically all their subs to come in as well, get some good experience in there, pull out a tough win after being tied for most of the game. Real Madrid came back after giving up an early goal in the 3rd minute where they were down 1-0, where Bellingham scored in the 19th minute, then the 60th minute to make it 2-1, and Vinicius scored in the 73rd minute to finish off the game. His goal was extremely impressive, top of the left of the box, basically almost chipped it over the goalie, worth a double watch. Again, Madrid's dealing with a new goalkeeper because their original goalkeeper, Courtois, got hurt. Then their defender, Militao, got hurt, both ACL injuries. So mix and matching some team. They had some decent depth, had to buy some players to help out with it. Good for Madrid to get that W. Here are the Spanish transfers. Anything of noteworthy for you to be able to see. We keep you up to date. Nothing crazy here to make note of. One person who's trying to get transferred is João Felix. He said he loved to play for Barca. Right now, he's basically not playing for Atletico Madrid. He's on the bench. He did get in their game as a sub, and Atletico Madrid fans booed him. Just left all out there because they were not happy about him saying they want to go to his rival. So we will see how this turns out, but most likely he will be leaving. Italia. Here's your table. This was their first day of games as well, match day 1. So you can see at the top of Fiorentina, Juventus, Napoli, Atalanta, Inter, and Leeds. And then at the bottom, you got Salcido, Genoa, and Udinese. Here are your scores. Napoli with a big 3-1 win to start the season. Fiorentina a big 4-1 win to start the season. Inter starts their new season off 2-0 after losing their final game in Champions League last season. Roma tied 2-2. Yet to play as of this time when they're filming. AC Milan has not played yet. Cristobal is his first game. And of course, Juventus got the 3-0 win. In that 3-0 win, Juventus scored in the 2nd minute. Chiesa, a great way to start the game. Then got a 2nd goal in the 20th minute. 3rd goal at the right before half was over. In stoppage time, 3-0 and cruised the victory in the 2nd half. Inter with the 2-0 win. Got their 1st goal in the 8th minute. And then the 2nd goal in the 2nd half. Same player, Martinez. So good for him to get his new season started strong. Good for Inter. Obviously, the big change here is they don't have Lukaku anymore at their head, so they can play a little bit of a different formation, 3-5-2 versus a striker up top. And the Napoli 3-1 win. Great for Napoli. Osman got 2 goals to start after his record-setting campaign last season after a fast start. He scored a 2nd goal of the game. A penalty got Fiorentina up 1-0 to start the game. Napoli came back and scored to make it 1-1, and then looked ahead and scored 3-1. So your top scorers, a lot of people have 2. You can see right here across the board. Again, just the first games of the season. And then your top assist is Giovanni Di Lorenzo with 2 assists. Here are some transfers. Anything of noteworthy here? Nothing crazy. A lot of them are a little bit younger players. First match of the season, people have now seen what their team is. Will definitely make changes as they need to. So that is your football roundup for those leagues, and we're going to continue on to France. Oops. This was match day 2 for France. Monaco is sitting in first place, with Brest in tied for first, and then Rennes, Montpellier, the big team in France. We know PSG sitting in 11th place, 2 points, 2 ties, 1 point per game. Lyon down in last place, 2 losses for their first 2 games of the season. Here are your scores for match day 2. PSG tied Toulouse 1-1. Lyon lost 1-4 to Montpellier, and the rest of the games from Sunday. The good thing for PSG, Mbappe's first game back in the team, got a goal off the penalty, wasn't out of the run and play, had the lead, and then they gave a penalty in the 87th minute where Toulouse scored to make it 1-1, and that's how the game tied. So obviously good for PSG to see Mbappe back in the game, get a goal. They have Dembele coming into the team now. They don't have Neymar anymore. They don't have PSG. So there's been some change in the front attack. They got to get used to each other. Preseason was definitely a little bit of a drama. So it's going to take some time. The French league isn't the best league in the world, so they should still be fine in the long run. Here are your top scorers for after match day 2. Adams with Montpellier has got 3 goals. Ben Yedder's got 3 goals with Monaco. Del Castillo's got 3 goals with Brest. And then Minamio, who used to be on Liverpool, now in Monaco, has the most assists with 2. Here are your transfers. Nothing crazy here to make note of. Takes us to Saudi Arabia. Big money spending is happening. We got Al Ittihad in first place with 6 points, tied with Al Ahly, and Al Ittifaq. Down at the bottom, you'll see here Al Nassr. That is Ronaldo's team. 2 games, 0 points, 2 losses. Here are the scores across the board, so you can take a look at where they're at. We'll dive into some of these teams right now. Al Hilal tied Al Fiyal 1-1. Al Hilal, Neymar's coming into this team. You can see that they already have Malcolm. They have Ruben Neves, so they got some decent players in here. They got Miroslav Savic, but of course with Neymar coming in, that will be the big one. First goal by Al Fiyal in 15th minute. Al Hilal scored in the 20th minute and became a stalemate after that, tied 1-1. Al Nassr lost 0-2. They just won the Arab Champions Cup. That was where Ronaldo, you saw the videos, we talked about on this channel, the trophy, everything. 2 games into the professional season, regular season, they have not won. They got Mane on their team, Tafu, Ronaldo up top, of course. So obviously he's not happy, team's not happy, they're expecting more with a lot of the signings that they have. Al Ittihad 1-2-0. This is Benzema's team. He did not score in this game, but a good 2-0 win. Again, they're at the top of the table. It's great to see for them what they're being able to achieve so far. Neymar got welcomed to Al Hilal. Neymar's in blue. They had a crazy drone show you're seeing right here. He was on the field. The whole stadium was packed with lights, fireworks, fire show. You could tell he was very much moved. Then lastly, back to USA, Canada, Mexico. MLS is back. Leagues Cup is now over. Again, Miami won that. So on Sunday, there were games for most of the teams, unless you were in the semifinals for the Leagues Cup. So you played in the third place game, the final game. You would not play as you played this weekend. Here are the scores from the weekend. St. Louis coming out hot with a 6-3 win. Dynamo getting a 5-0 win over the Timbers. Pretty big score lines to come out. Crew beat Cincinnati 3-0. So here's your table for the East. Again, there's about 10 games, 12 games left in the season. Inter Miami has 18 points. To make the playoffs right now, if no team's ever won 32, that's 4 games they need to make up. 4 times 3 is 12. So they probably need to win 9 of their last 12 games. That's 9 times 3 is 36 points to give themselves a chance around 48 points to make the playoffs. And then here's your West Coast standings, so you can see right here we got a little bit of a jump between 31-30 with FC Dallas and Kansas City. That's only a game and a half. So it's going to be a fun going down to the playoffs. Here are your top scorers for the league and your overall stats. Henry Mkhitaryan with Nashville FC with 13. He didn't play this weekend, of course. In the MLS, he played in the League Cup. Thiago Almada, prodigy with Atlanta United, has 10 assists. And then any big transfers, nothing crazy here to make note of. Just some youngsters going here and there. Now, the big thing to be aware of is, let me go back. The transfers, September 1st is when the European transfer deadline's over. So it will be something to really see who's being transferred the next week or two. It's going to really heat up like it does during the summer. And this could heat back up. That is your football roundup for the weekend of August 20th. My name is Randy Silver. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll keep you updated when these drop midweek on Thursday for what happens during the midweek games, for European competitions, domestic competitions around the world. Any big game breakdowns, we'll have that for you. We have much more in Randy Silver TV, vlog videos, sports videos around basketball, NFL, and so much more.